Welcome to our chapter, Renewable Energy Scenarios. In this video, we give an overview of the analytic method of building scenarios. Secondly, we show the electricity demand in Europe, Middle East and North Africa, the UMENA region, and give an outlook of a future electricity system based on renewable energies. Finally, we show two scenarios with and without a transfer of dispatchable solar power from North Africa and the Middle East to Europe, with Germany as an example.
In this video, we use scenarios as analytic method, showing a possible future energy system based on renewable energies. Scenarios can show how a future energy system can be, but do not predict the future. Based on assumed data and probable development goals from the current point of view, scenarios can show a bandwidth of possible future energy systems. However, scenarios cannot respect disruptive or unlikely events, whether they are technical, economic, or political. Requirements for robust energy scenarios are the consideration of security of supply, system cost and economic development, completed technology readiness level, a high diversity of technology options, available potentials, as well as social and environmental compatibility. Thus, a sustainable energy supply must be secure, compatible, and affordable. In our analysis, we focus on minimal system cost. Therefore, we use a computational optimization. This optimization has the target function of minimal system cost and can reveal a local minimum with one technological composition of the energy system. The further we look into the future, the less clear the cost assumptions become. Thus, sensitivities with a bandwidth of cost assumptions are essential, achieving a bandwidth of technological compositions of the future energy system. Here we show the UMENA region with geographical Europe, Middle East and North Africa, as well as surrounding countries with their electricity generation and demand in the year 2010. The world electricity demand in the year 2010 is around 18,000 terawatt-hours. The UMENA region has hereby 1/3 of the global electricity demand with approximately 6,000 terawatt-hours. Germany has an electricity demand of around 600 terawatt-hours, which results in a share of around 10% of the total electricity demand in UMENA. The electricity generation in the UMENA region in the year 2010 is based on gas, coal, and nuclear energy, whereby in Europe nuclear energy generation is one major element. In MENA, gas and oil are the backbone of the electricity generation. In Europe in the year 2010, water power is the major renewable energy, followed by wind energy and photovoltaics with an increasing share. Having a look on global scale, countries like China and India in the year 2010 also have a comparable high electricity generation based on coal and gas, with a rising energy demand and a renewable energy run-up. In this diagram we demonstrate the shares of energies providing electricity in the UMENA region until the year 2050. Due to cost development of renewable energies, a run-up of renewable energies is assumed. Especially wind energy, dispatchable solar power and photovoltaics can provide the major shares. For our scenarios we consider security of supply, cost development, gross domestic product, population growth and sustainability development goals such as climate-relevant emission targets. According to World Population Prospects of the United Nations of the year 2015, the UMENA region can develop to around 1.5 billion people in the year 2050 and has a global population share of around 15%. Hereby the population in Europe stays almost constant, while in MENA the population rises with about 50%. Especially in the MENA region, scenarios expect a gross domestic product increase as well as a rising electricity demand for water desalination. Compared to the electricity demand in the year 2010 with around 6,000 terawatt-hours, the electricity demand can double to around 12,000 terawatt-hours per year in the UMENA region until the year 2050. Hereby, Europe and the MENA region share this demand each with around 50%.
Renewable energies can be classified in fluctuating energies like wind power and photovoltaics, and in dispatchable energies such as geothermal, biomass, water power, renewable gas-fired turbines, and dispatchable solar power. Fluctuating energies generate electricity according to supply, dispatchable energies generate electricity according to demand. The generation of electricity is based on installed capacity. Dispatchable energies provide firm capacity to cover the peak load at any time. A reserve of around 25% of the peak load is important to cover the demand in case of capacity revision or outage. This reserve is provided by dispatchable capacity. In our scenario, we use 125% of the peak load to build the capacity of fluctuating and dispatchable energies with around the same share. These capacities can generate each around 50% of the energy demand to cover the demand without excessive overgeneration or gaps. Therefore, we speak of a balanced energy mix with 50% fluctuating capacity and generation and 50% dispatchable capacity and generation. A 50-50 energy mix. This balanced energy mix can reach a share of around 100% renewable energy. In each country, a 50-50 balanced energy mix can be reached either with local resources or a transfer from supplying regions. Hereby, an import would be considered as part of the reserve capacity to guarantee that local capacity can cover the local demand at any time. The charts show the installed capacities of the countries in the EMENA region in the year 2010 and 2050. The European countries in blue background, the countries in the Middle East in green background, and the countries in North Africa in red background. In the year 2010, the share of renewable energy is 20% and an 80% share of renewable energy in the year 2050 is assumed. In the energy scenario of the EMENA region, installed capacity doubles from the year 2010 until the year 2050. In the scenario, the countries with installed capacity above 100 gigawatt are Germany, France, Italy, Spain, United Kingdom, Turkey, Egypt, Iran and Iraq.
To achieve a 50-50 balanced energy mix, a cooperation between European countries and countries in North Africa and the Middle East can be considered to achieve a transfer of dispatchable solar power. This transfer can be implemented using high-voltage direct current transmission. A transmission should be a separate dispatchable solar power plant with a corresponding separate transmission infrastructure to a center of demand. This enables the off-taker to keep the power plant dispatchable for its control area. However, a regulatory framework is essential, giving indispensable guarantees, as for other beneficial systemic infrastructures, making it attractive for investors. Having a more detailed look on one country in the EMENA region, we show Germany with its installed capacity and electricity generation in two scenarios with the same renewable energy share. In scenario 1, we use only domestic renewable energies, predominantly wind offshore, wind onshore and photovoltaics, as well as hydrogen and pumped storage. In scenario 2, we add to the domestic renewable energies a transfer of dispatchable solar power from North Africa as a supplemental component with around 10% of total installed capacity. In both scenarios, firm capacity is provided predominantly with gas turbines, allowing a flexible supply according to demand. In an energy system, with around 95% renewable energy share, higher installed capacity referred to peak load is indispensable. However, scenario 1 need around 150 gigawatt more installed capacity, which is around 50% more installed capacity of scenario 2. Thus, around 10% installed capacity of dispatchable solar power from North Africa can reduce total installed capacity of the energy system drastically. Regarding the electricity generation in 1 week in summer and 1 week in winter, we see in scenario 1, in colored, high capacity surplus and, in gray, high capacity gaps filled by gas turbines. In scenario 2, we can see a balance between fluctuating and dispatchable renewable energies in a 50-50 mix. This leads to low capacity surplus and low capacity gaps filled by gas turbines. Avoiding losses, surplus energy must be either transported or stored when not consumed locally or temporally. Thus, the higher the surplus energy, the higher is grid expansion and storage capacity. Domestic fluctuating energies can supplement each other seasonally. However, an energy mix of 50% fluctuating renewable energy and 50% dispatchable renewable energy can contribute to a balanced electricity generation and a moderate capacity expansion. In this video, we show that robust scenarios can give an outlook of possible future energy systems. In the EMENA region, especially in MENA, population is on the rise, which leads to higher electricity demand and demand for renewable energy. In a balanced energy mix of 50% fluctuating renewable energy and 50% dispatchable renewable energy, the demand can be covered without excessive overgeneration or gaps. Especially in Germany, a share of around 10% installed capacity of dispatchable solar power from North Africa can reduce total installed capacity of the energy system drastically compared to a purely domestic generation with fluctuating renewable energies. Thus, dispatchable solar power, its transmission from desert regions can provide value for the energy system as one major supplemental component. A wisdom from Albert Einstein says, "To keep your balance, you must keep moving." Feel free to follow and contact us via social media or email.